Time for another Soccer Down Here 1v1, and this one's a fun one because we get to find out about futsal in the JV10 Academy. Jonas Venancio, the man in charge of the whole thing. He's hanging out with us here on SDH. Coach, thanks hanging out for a 1v1. I know that you started out as a soccer player back home in Portugal, and injuries forced you to take up futsal. What was that like for you to play futsal and gravitate more toward that instead of playing soccer? What was futsal like for you?
We play a lot of futsal in Portugal, even during during the summer, principal during the summer, during the off season of soccer. We have a lot of tournaments, futsal tournaments, and I always had that passion with the futsal. I played soccer all year round, and after I jumped to the futsal on the summers. After I had my injury, and when I back to play, I felt more confident doing futsal because in my mind, just in case I had something happen, I could come out of the field, and if I was okay, I could come in again. But that flexibility to come out and in over and over again after 1 second or 2 seconds or 10 seconds, doesn't matter, feel more comfortable about. And I decide, and of course my passion about the futsal too, I decide to do futsal instead of soccer. And when I realized I was doing really futsal, and I just decided to keep going.
For someone who has never seen it, never experienced futsal, how would you explain the controlled chaos and madness that's indoors playing this sport and the differences that it is? How would you break down futsal for someone who's never seen it or taken part in it?
I will answer you, but let me say something somebody told me last night. I had my players doing the futsal session. They all of them when they came out of the field, because we was doing subs, just going in and out because it's really quickly. And one of the boy looked to the other one and said, "Damn, this is better than soccer and more fun than soccer." And the all other one said, I agree with that. That's amazing. That's the question of futsal. You have less time to think, you have less time to act, but even the emotions are faster. The time you need to reach the other goal is faster than on soccer. I will define futsal with a high intensity, in always in physical intensity, emotional intensity is all. And that's the, for me, the best definition of futsal. Everything is quicker and much more intense.
How does playing futsal aid you in playing football, and how does playing football help you with playing futsal?
I think playing futsal help you to be a better soccer player for sure. The reverse, the don't have, in my opinion, don't have a directly connection. But if you play futsal, when you jump to playing soccer again, everything looks slow because you're already used to the quickness of the futsal. You don't have too much time on futsal. You need to control the ball faster and better. You need to think faster and better. You need to act faster and better. And everything is much more intense, like I was saying before. Means when you jump to playing soccer again, you was like, whoa, and I'm already in another level. Now everything looks extremely slow on soccer because I was used to do something really fast.
When you decided to start the academy there at JV10, first off, why?
I love soccer, but futsal is a passion. I always have that on mind. I had my club in Portugal where I the summer, and when I came over here and I start to be a soccer coach, and I start to understand how the futsal work over here, because I actually search a lot and was hard for me to understand. because it's cultural. Everything here is different. But when I understand how things work, and in some moment I was like, with my knowledge and with my experience and with the feedback I have from the kids and from the parents, I really think I can do that by my own. And I started to work on that slowly, try to understand, and finally this summer I came with my practice to everybody, boys and girls, different ages, to become a better soccer players.
I was going to ask what the response has been like for those first time futsal players, but you gave me a good story there with the with the one young man who comes off the bench and gives that kind of a response. What does it mean to you as a coach to see that kind of a response to someone who is either new to futsal or growing and learning and advancing more? What's it like for you as a coach to see that kind of a reaction?
It's amazing. It's amazing in two ways. Of course, because it's my academy, and it's amazing because my passion for futsal is huge. And understand how people only in 2 weeks start to have passion with the game and with futsal is really good. I'm really proud of that. I'm a type of person who don't know me. I'm a type of person, or I do 100% of myself on everything, or I don't do. I cannot be in the middle. And I'm an emotional person. I'm intense. And hear somebody on my side tell me this is better than soccer, and we love that, and all other ones say yes, we agree with that. That's amazing for me.
Is the most difficult thing for someone who comes to the academy when they're adjusting to futsal? Is it the speed? Is it the rules? Is it the action on the field itself? What's the most difficult thing when someone comes to the academy first? What the first difficult thing that they have to kind of process and push through so they can understand what's going on with futsal?
I personally, I don't want to, since the beginning, I don't want to keep telling rules, different rules, or we cannot do that, you need to do that. It's too much things. I try to go slow, because if, even for adults, if you put too much rules, it was like, well, that's not fun anymore. I'm done with that. You need to learn 1, 2, 3 rules, and after I can add. But I would say the most important thing on futsal is using the soul. You should use your soul to do everything. You should drive the ball with the soul most of the times. You should control the ball with the soul. You should protect the ball using the soul on the ball. You should soul. I will say soul is the soul of soccer, of futsal.
And when you first started to mention that, I took it as soul. I took it as soul here and not soul here.
Yes.
And I was, when you were mentioning that, I was wondering about the artistry, the expression, and how that comes to pass when folks are playing futsal. How much of the expression of the soul do you get to see come out, as opposed to how much of the soul you get to see come out?
Yeah, I is actually was I get it, and the players get a bit confused at the beginning when I start to say soul without it was my soul, and it was like, yeah, no, soul about your foot. But yeah, is actually important using the soul, because the control of the ball is better if you use the soul. Plus, if somebody trying to steal you the ball, if you have your weight on top of the ball, it will be harder for somebody to steal you the ball, because you, like I said before, you have less time. Everything is quicker, faster. You need to control the ball better and faster. About the soul, the other type of soul, you need to have a lot on futsal, definitively. is more intense. I think is intense, definitely the most important word about futsal, and bigger soul is important.
How much growth of the sport have you seen in your time here in the United States? I know that you married and relocated from Germany to Atlanta. How much growth have you seen in futsal here in the United States as a sport?
COVID time was weird time. Well, I couldn't have really a good idea about the reality of soccer and futsal over here. You know, it was weird time about everything. But with COVID gone, literally, I would say I will see is growing up a lot. Is growing up a lot. Inside the city, I really think outside of the city is people understand more and better the benefits of futsal, and I still try to educate people inside the city about that, about how futsal is important, and give you another level, put your kids on another level.
So then, how is it important? How do they get to that? How is it in expressing the soul and having the soul getting to that next level? What are those talks like when you're talking to parents? What do you tell them about what futsal can do?
Futsal can make your players be faster, definitively, like I was saying before, faster to think, faster to act, faster to everything. Lack of defensive or offensive characteristics. What I mean with that is, if a player on soccer is attacker or on an attacking line, his defensive way is not really good. But when you jump to futsal, you must be good, because it's only 5 players. You must defend and attack the same way. And on the other side, the same. If you are a defensive player, you go to futsal, you need to know how to attack too. And mobility is extremely important. Try to understand the gaps. Try to cover, if you are defending, try to cover the spaces really quickly and fast, avoiding the other team to shoot on goal and to score. If you are attacking, you need to have a lot of mobility to try to find that spaces to have a gap to shoot for a goal. I would say the principal things is definitively be faster on everything, thinking, acting, more intensity, use your body more, be more fake movements. And I think is something is really important in soccer, and is extremely important in futsal. You need to fake a lot of moments, faking you go to one side and go to another side, and get back and offensively, because you must to be good on everything, because is really quick and is a small space and is only 5 players.
So it's about imagination and thought as much as it is about thinking faster. So you have to. It seems like you're. This really is a game between the ears for folks with the futsal. It's like you've got to think fast, and you have to use your imagination. So there's a lot of activity here that's got to work its way through the rest of the body when you're playing futsal, it sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing I really think is important is, on soccer, coaches kind of can manage the behavior of the players, because it is a lot of space, and till the ball came to you, you have and the coach can adapt, can talk with you, and can. Futsal, we can't. All information literally we can give is before the game. During the game is hard to manage that, because when I look at you and say, hey, you are in the wrong position, you should go for that, well, that is done. The ball is already there. I don't have time for that. We don't have time for that. Make you be more and more independent, because you need to understand by yourself, and you need to adapt over and over again really quickly.
So for folks that want to get in touch with you at JV10 Academy so they can learn from you, learn about futsal, how do they do it? What are the sessions? How often are they? Give me all the details folks need to know when it comes to JV10 Academy.
Okay, right now we have 2 locations. One location on Decatur and another one in Smyrna. On Decatur is the recreational center. We do sessions Mondays and Wednesdays. I'm about to jump on 3 sessions now, because I have big number of players and we need to jump on 3 sessions because working anymore. The sessions are based on age and of course the level of the player. We need to manage that. Start at 6, end at 9, Mondays and Wednesdays. Each session is 1 hour. And Smyrna will start at 4:30 and we end at 6:30. We only have 2 sessions over there. That's what we have right now at the moment. We just offering academy right now. Soon we will offer possibility to go to competitions. Already take care of that, but that's the goal, is doing twice in one, is having still the academy, and after building teams and go to competitions if players agree and if the parents agree, of course.
Jonas Venancio, the man who's in charge of JV10 Academy. Coach, thanks for coming on with us for a Soccer Down Here 1v1 for the education about futsal. It's a great education for me about futsal and the JV10 Academy. Thanks for hanging out with us for a 1v1, Coach. We'll be keeping an eye on things. And thanks for being a part of the entire community to help everything grow.
Thank you so much for inviting me and for the opportunity. And I'm so happy to explain and show what is futsal.